Hello, fellow Alloy Bree fans. How are you? Here you know what happened on season 3, episode 5. No Place Like Home or Going Home, something like that. Part 1 of the series finale. I can't believe next week's gonna wrap it up. They said they want to do more seasons, but like the different time portals opened up. Like they want like on interviews and that with the cast. They talk like it'd be cool if we did an episode with like Vikings that showed up and people like Samurai Warriors back in the day, or like the Pirates timeline, stuff like that, or like the Roman Gladiators. They could have done so much of all the different time portals. But they said their viewers weren't picking up, so the producers decided to cancel the show, so they're wrapping everything up, which they understand. The show opens up with Gavin, Maya Smith, Sam, Ty, Lucas, Veronica. They're at a hut in the fort. And they're talking about now that they got the microchip, Gavin can get a hold of the military people at the base because they're using a computer. They've had been in contact off and on with somebody on the other end at the base. They don't know who it is. And Myra Smith's telling them that soldiers ambushed her and Scott. They tied her and Scott up. She got free, got away, but Scott was able to get away, so he was taken to the base. Gavin was kind of skeptical, like the way she was telling what happened, right? And then the computer turned on, and there was a message saying, "If you got the microchip," he says yes. I will give it to you in return for my wife, like playing and all this, and then it shut off. During this time, Maya Smith had left the hut for a few minutes. She came back in, already geared up to go, want to know what they said and all this. And Gavin was kind of like eyeballing her, like he knows something's up, right? So he tells the group, you know what, we're going to take a breather, think things through before we go try to find this military base again. To save everybody. Lucas and Sam are walking in the clearing, and Lucas tells Sam he thinks Maya or someone at the fort is a double eight is a spy for the military people. And he thinks it's Maya Smith. Guys, it's fake. Well, ever since she showed up, Levi's been captured, Petra's been captured, Scott's been captured. He said, but she never gets captured. She shows up when shit hits the fan and all this. So Sam believes him, thinking that she is playing them and she's working for the military people still. Then it shows Gavin in the clearing talking to Maya Smith. They're alone. And he tells Maya he's going to destroy the microchip, not give it into the military so they can continue the time experiments, time travel. And she pulls a gun out on him, confirming what Lucas was saying to Sam, that she was playing him all along. And Gavin whistles, and out comes Sam and Ty. They got her surrounded. So that when we saw Sam and Lucas talking, Sam must have went and told Gavin, right? But because we didn't see that part. So they zip tie Maya Smith's hands free. Zip tie her free, hands free. They zip tie her hands together. And they start asking her questions. She says, well, don't you remember me, Gavin? And then Gavin realized she's the general that was reading the newspaper article. She's the one that's been in charge at the military base all along. She's been playing everybody. Suddenly, soldiers show up. And a shootout happens. Then, the soldiers, 2 of them get killed. And Maya Smith gets taken away with 2 other soldiers at a jeep, and they take off. Gavin's sister, he found out he never even knew he had his sister from last week because of the whole, his memory being messed with the timeline travel stuff, the army experiment with the test pilots. She had followed through on the Blue Aurora portal that leads you to 10,000 BC or 2021, a few weeks before the sinkhole happens. So Gavin thanks her for saving his life. And she says, I told you couldn't trust that bitch. She says, I'm here to make amends. She said, I'm going to help you, but getting your wife back and that. So they decide to go on and follow the Jeep tracks, right? Because they said that's going to take us to the base. As that's happening, Veronica, there's a council meeting happening soon. She's at the council chambers of the fort. She's the first one there, and she's just walking about, and she stumbles across a hidden latch underneath the floor. Is hidden underneath an animal rug skin. fur thing. She opens it, and there's a crate inside. She opens it, and she's shocked at what she finds. She takes it to Lucas and their fort, where they're staying at. It's a military base radio, cell phone communication, and satellite phone thingy. So Lucas said, "Can Myers-Smith be in that council chamber?" Veronica said, "No. The only people allowed in there are council members, me, Ruth, and other people." So they realize somebody else on that council group is working with the army people. So Veronica says there's a council meeting that's going to happen. I'm going to confront the people about it. The council meetings happen, they're talking, but like some of the subjects brought up as what happened to Pablo, Ty's wife. She went out on a scouting party weeks ago. They never came back. Ruth said, I've sent people out looking for them, but they never returned. We'll deal with that later. Veronica says, you know what, we're going to deal with something else. And she pulls out the crate, opens it up, and everybody at the council member tribe is shocked at this. Ruth takes off way quickly. So Veronica goes tell Lucas it's Ruth because she hesitated. No quick hesitation whatsoever. She took off as soon as I showed everybody the satellite army phone. So Lucas and Veronica go try to track Ruth down in the woods in the clearing. And it's cool how these 3 different storylines that's happening all interact, by the way, which is interesting. Actually 4. Then it shows Ruth's daughter with Izzy. They're just out walking around out boat. Ruth's daughter's trying to take her someplace. Then it shows the military base. Myers-Smith shows up, gets out of the Jeep, and guess who greets her? Levi. He's actually working for her, because if you remember back in season 2, when he came back from leaving before and coming back, he had a tattoo on his arm of like 3 hexagons. That's the logo for this military base. So he's been playing Gavin's group along, playing secret spy stuff. I'm gonna call it like good spy, evil spy. So she and Levi go and they confront Scott. They start asking questions. She wants to know if Scott told anyone else about that article, if anybody else wrote about it. And Scott says, no, it was just me. So Gavin beats the shit out of Scott. Like, punches him in the guts a few times, smacks him across the face a couple times. Like, he really lays into him. And then when Myers-Smith leaves, he pulls out a thing, turns off the security camera, and says, I'm helping you guys. I'm just pretending I'm with them. He said, stall her as much as you can. Apparently some kind of plant Scott knows about in that article can help with the time travel theme that she's still trying to figure out. So she comes back, he turns the camera back on, and her and Levi go talking outside, and Levi says, let me take him to the other holding facility that's miles away from here. I'll get my answers out of him. So Myers-Smith first is skeptical, right? But she's like, okay, do it. So Levi handcuffs Scott, drags him out of the cell, and he's taking him through the woods with some soldiers to this other holding facility. And as they're traveling, Levi says, this is where they're keeping Eve. I've been trying to find Eve. She ain't been here. I've looked everywhere, so this is the only other place she could be is this other holding facility the military base has off-site. So this is where Eve is. They're walking along. Then it cuts back to Gavin, Sam, Ty, Gavin's sister, Halina. You finally found her name's Halina. They have made a makeshift raft and they're traveling on water because they lost track of the Jeep tire tracks. And a big giant ass alligator crocodile attacks them. It almost kills Gavin's sister. Sam kills it with like a whole entire full assault rifle magazine clip shots. Like, he never missed one shot on that crocodile alligator with that assault rifle. He just killed it like nothing, man. Just like that, folks. That was an awesome battle fight scene. I liked it. And then they realized maybe we should just go back on foot. So they're going back on foot. And they find the Jeep tracks again. So they're getting closer. Then it shows Veronica and Lucas. They find Ruth. They confound her. Ruth says, I'm not the person working with the people. It's my daughter. She said, the military came to the tribe months ago. Before even you guys even showed up. I had to get Pablo, Ty's wife, sent away. Because she didn't want to work with the military people. But she wanted to. Then she realized how bad they were. But her daughter is interested in the technology and all this. Because they know they're from the future, right? Not from 10,000 BC. So, Ruth's daughter, the one that Izzy likes, is actually the person that's been feeding the information to the army people from the fort. They find Ruth's daughter and Izzy. They're at a tree. Ruth's daughter's shocked that they're there. But also there's supposed to be a time portal there to take them back home. But Myers-Smith tricked them. The coordinates were wrong. Then they meet up. So they don't meet up. The satellite phone goes off. And you can hear Myers-Smith on the radio saying, you have them on your sights. Take them out. She's referring to Gavin and them. Then it goes. There's a lot back and forth by this, folks. By the way, this episode. Then it shows Levi and Scott over the walkie-talkie on one of the soldiers. Levi hears that they were getting ready to kill Gavin and them. He takes out the two soldiers, kills them instantly. Him and Scott run. They hear gunshots. They get there. Gavin, Sam, Ty, and Gavin's sister are pinned down. They're getting shot at by a bunch of soldiers. Izzy, Lucas, Veronica, Ruth, and her daughter show up. Levi goes like full commando mode, like kicking ass. He takes out soldiers left and right. Like, it was an awesome fight scene with Levi and the soldiers. Then he finally got them all. One soldier is left, and he has his gun on Levi. All of a sudden, an arrow goes right through him from behind. Izzy kills the soldier to save her uncle Levi. But the soldier's gun goes off and hits Levi in the guts. Levi died, folks. He dies. It's a shocker. As he's laying there dying, he tells Gavin, I was trying to find Eve. I was pretending to be with the soldiers when I wasn't all along. She's at a holding facility so many kilometers away. I know these soldiers, we were taking Scott there. Your wife's there. Your wife's there. He says, I'm sorry for sleeping with her while you're going through the whole ordeal with your visions and the drinking. And Gavin forgives him. But you can really tell it really hurt Izzy. Because Izzy and Levi had a really great relationship, right? Because Levi was her uncle. But I always said throughout the show, I've always thought maybe Levi was Izzy's father, right? Maybe we're going to find that out. Because maybe that's the other connection. They go ahead. The episode ends with everybody arriving at the coordinates. There's no military holding facility. But there's another double portal. One that's red, one that's blue. And they realize Sam's the one that says it. Wait a minute. You said, he asks Gavin's sister this, that these portals only go to two specific timelines. 10,000 BC, 2021 is the blue one. 1965 and 10,000 BC is the red one. Yeah? Think about it. This military base was formed in 1965. Think about it. That's what the holding facility is. That's where Eve, Josh, and Rodney all went. They're in 1965, guys. They're in that holding facility. They're in that military base at that timeline. So everybody realizes, holy shit, he's right? So everybody gears up and they go through the red portal. So Ty goes through it. Sam goes through it. Gavin goes through it. Gavin's sister, Helena, goes through it. I think even Lucas and Veronica, I think everybody goes through the portal. Even Ruth's daughter and Ruth and Izzy. I think everybody actually goes through that portal. And that's how that's how the episode ends. So they're gone to 1965 and that military base, which now they know is where Eve, Josh, and Rodney's at, being held captive. I hope next week's series finale, they show a little bit of how Eve landed in that timeline for the portal she went through. what happened when Josh Riley ended up there. I hope they just don't show up and rescue them from a prison cell. I hope they show like what happened a little bit with them in that timeline. It's the series finale. Is everybody gonna get back home before the sinkhole opens up in Los Angeles? Some people are gonna stay behind 10,000 BC. Some people are gonna get lost in 1965. And something else is gonna happen. There's a lot that could happen. I hope they just wrap everything up and they end it and they don't leave like a lot of cliffhangers. 1 and 2 is okay, but not like a whole bunch. This episode was good. I just didn't like how it kept jumping from one group of people to the next. But see, they all intertwined at the finish, which makes sense. But it's hard to keep track of what was going on when they were bouncing back and forth. That's the only thing I didn't like about this episode. There you have it, folks. Let me know below in the comments your thoughts on Levi dying, getting killed off in the series. But man, I gotta say, what a way to go, kicking ass and taking names. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.